Hey friends, this is Jeff Morgan. Well, I'm a little scruffy today. Well, I've decided to go for it and do a 72-hour water fast. That means I will only be drinking water and ingesting 0 calories for 3 days. Now, I'm technically 16 hours into my fast already because I started at 7 p.m. last night and it's already about 11 o'clock in the morning the following day. My last meal was at 6 p.m., but I actually started the clock for my fast at 7 p.m. Now, usually I finish my last meal around 7 p.m. and I don't eat my first meal till around 9:30 in the morning post-workout. So that's 14 hours in between my last meal and my first meal of the day. Not quite intermittent fasting, but close. So why am I doing this? Well, it's for many reasons. Number one, I've never done it before. The longest I've ever fasted in the past was 24 hours. I've been reading up on the benefits of a 72-hour water fast and also taking some advice from some of my favorite plant-based doctors.
Basically, healthy people can do a 3-day water fast at home. It's a lovely thing to do. It's like taking your cells to the car wash. For 3 days, you're just running pure water through your cells, and you emerge from that lighter and cleaner. And I have patients who do that every other week, twice a month. They'll do a 3-day stretch on just water alone. And if you're a healthy person on no medications and no health problems, absolutely everyone can do that. And I said, we have patients Friday morning, they start their water program Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning they have some vegetable juice or maybe a bowl of soup, and they gradually just over the course of 48 hours increase their food consumption and get back to their healthy diet. So yes, people can do 3 days at home on their own if you're a healthy person.
And number two, since going plant-based about 4 years ago, I never allowed my system to fully clean itself out. I simply relied on the whole plant foods to clean me out. Now that worked wonders, and a lot of my ailments such as rosacea, bloating, inflammation, and allergies either vanished or were attenuated. But I always had this thought in my head about how adding clean oil to an engine that still had a dirty oil filter would only be so helpful, and issues could arise in the future due to that dirty filter, or the liver and kidneys. So here I am 4 years later, wanting to clean out my filter system and give myself a restart. I'm hoping 72 hours will be long enough, but we'll see how I feel after. And number three, for the last 7 months, I've been training hard and building muscle for bodybuilding competitions. I have about 5 to 10 pounds to go before I feel ready to cut, and this process, this water fast, will actually have me losing some weight. But I'm not really worried about it because as soon as I reintroduce glucose, my muscle cell and liver stores will fill right back up, and I should gain the weight right back, minus a couple pounds probably. It's also going to feel really good to allow my body to fully rest and recover. And number four, I've been having some issues with high glycemic fruits since I removed refined sweeteners from my diet. So if I eat them, I'll get mild headaches, I'll feel irritable and fatigued. So I'm fasting to see if I can reset my system and perhaps bring some of those high glycemic fruits back into my diet. Number five, my final reason is spiritual or biblical. So I'm also fasting to enhance my connection with God, increase my self-discipline, and go inward for a while instead of focusing on food all day. Now in the Bible it states that it's not necessary for others to know that you're fasting, which is an act of humility. But since I'm sharing this experience to show my physiological reaction to it, and for the benefit of the viewers, I'm making it known to the public. So this isn't an act of, hey, I'm cool, I'm fasting, look at me. As you know me and my channel, it is simply to deliver information that could be beneficial to the viewers. Now it's important to note that if you are considering fasting, you shouldn't if you're on medication, and you should consult your doctor before fasting. But a water fast seems to be a simple process. Just keep drinking water throughout the day and stop eating. I'll check back in from time to time with updates on how I'm feeling. Catch you later. So it's been about 24 hours, and how has today gone for me? Well, I've stayed incredibly busy. I've gotten a lot of work done, even though my mind still has to catch up to what I want to focus on. I've been really productive. It just helps keep my mind off food because I'm pretty darn hungry. I mean, I can really eat anything right now. I mean, that plant behind me right there is looking pretty yummy right now. So anyway, things are going pretty well. I drank a lot of water today. I didn't oversaturate myself, but it's just an interesting thing to not eat. We realize how addicted we are, how conditioned we are to food. And we live in a society that is so abundant, and we have so much around us all the time that when we don't eat, we realize how much time we actually spend thinking about food and actually eating. So I'm going to try to go to bed early tonight so, I can kind of quell this little headache that I have, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, good morning, friends. Well, it's 36 hours into my 72-hour water fast. I just woke up. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, which is a little bit late to wake up because we usually have to get the kids off really quick. So it was hard for me to fall asleep last night, I'll be honest with you. I had a pretty ripping headache through the night. I still was able to fall asleep. It probably took me till about 2 in the morning to really fall asleep and get a good sleep. So I'm kind of tired, but I feel pretty clean. I went to the scale this morning and weighed myself, and it was about 170. Usually in the morning when I weigh myself, it's usually between 174 and 176. That's empty stomach after going to the bathroom. So 170, that means I've lost around 4 or 5 pounds. So I'm not worried about that. It's to be expected. And another thing is that I don't want to forget to mention that I will not be exercising or working out during this period of time. I'll be going through my normal daily functions of work and taking care of my family. But I will not be training. I won't be going to the gym. I don't want to risk any kind of, passing out or something like that. So am I hungry? No, I'm not hungry. This morning I don't feel hunger. I feel pretty empty. I did go to the bathroom, which is great because more that goes out and nothing that comes in. It's cleansing. But I'm not hungry. I hope that feeling stays with me for the rest of the day because life sure gets easier when you're not hungry. Oh, let me show you my breakfast real quick. Yes, breakfast on a water fast.
Is that your breakfast?
Yeah, that's my breakfast. I'm going to have some hot water.
No.
That's my breakfast.
It's not even food. This is food.
But we need water, don't we?
Caught up in the middle of a battle between the First Order and the Resistance. We're getting behind the controls of the Millennium Falcon for an interstellar joyride. Our guests are going to play a starring role in the story. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is the largest single land expansion we've ever done, and Disney Hollywood Studios is the...
All right, we're at the movie theater. If you can't tell, getting psyched to see some Peter Rabbit. 48, almost 49 hours into water fast. So I'm pretty hungry today. But it's okay. No headache. Feeling really light. The only issue today has been hunger, so we'll see how it feels tomorrow. Well, it's been about 62 hours since I've put any food in my mouth. And like I said before, I've been sipping water all day, basically. Sometimes in the night if I wake up. So far this experience has been pretty powerful on many levels. And I guess relatively to other kinds of fasts, it may not be that long. It's not easy to be eating every day of your life, multiple times a day, and then just not. So it's a lesson on discipline and self-awareness because a lot of things come up. A lot of issues come up. When you're dealing with that space that's been created where food used to be, and that's one thing I don't think people understand that haven't fasted, is that when you stop eating, there's a space there. And what do you fill that space with? Do you fill it with activity, which is what I was doing for the first couple of days or day and a half? Or do you fill it with contemplation? Do you go inward? Do you look at yourself in the middle of a uncomfortable experience and evaluate yourself, your abilities, your discipline level, and how you deal with discomfort? And I think in many ways in life, people that are uncomfortable will immediately try to feel better. And they might pray that they feel better immediately. And they might fill that in with, come here, sweetie. They might fill that in with something fun and occupying their mind when, if you look at it, a lot of people that go through life, they may never look at an uncomfortable situation for what it is and be in that situation and learn about themselves in that discomfort. Now, the past couple days have felt relatively empty, but now I kind of start to feel my stomach pushing back into my... So I feel like my stomach's pushing back into my intestines are shrinking and everything is shrinking on the inside. So I kind of feel like I'm, getting thinner from the inside. I've lost about 8 pounds. So I weighed in this morning at about 166, and I usually weigh in the morning at about 174. And I'm fine with that. And this is also a part of it. How attached am I to my body? How attached am I to my image? And am I willing to lose muscle and size for something that I need to go through? And it's good to know that I can. Will I put on as much as I had before? Will I gain more than I did before? Maybe, because I have goals. But to know that in the middle of a bulking phase, I can actually do this and lose weight and lose size, it's good to know that I can do that. So I have 10 hours left, maybe a little less. And I'm not sure, I'm going to go to the store today and get some post-fasting foods to ease my way back into food, because I know it's not a good idea to just start eating like I used to. So I'm going to get some zucchini and some squash and boil up some zucchini with some low-sodium veggie broth and make a squash puree, butternut squash probably, feeling like that. But I've been pretty hungry this whole time. And I'm not sure if I'm going to eat tonight or just go to sleep and turn it into an 84-hour fast, because I don't usually like to eat at night. Anyway, this has been a great experience. I still have the day to get through. So I'll be sipping on my water today and being as present as possible, getting even more in tune with myself, in a greater connection with God, a greater connection with my wife and kids, because it's through the struggle that you can become a better person. So as you can see, I've lost some weight. Like I said before, I've lost 8 pounds already. And it just goes to show how much glycogen stores in the muscle cells and water, even though I've been drinking a lot of water, weighs. The food in the system that's still there has weight to it. And you can see that if you go to the bathroom and you weigh yourself before and after, there'll be a difference in weight. So the food that we have in our system has weight, carries weight to it. The glycogen that our muscle cells and our liver store has weight to it, which is one of the reasons why if you put muscle on, you increase your body's ability to hold more glycogen. And if you go to a higher fit level, you increase your body's ability to hold more glycogen. And some of the weight that I've gained over the last 6-7 months, which is about 15-16 pounds, is not all muscle tissue. It's part of what muscle tissue is made of, which is water, which is glycogen, and the food, increasing my caloric content, has increased the weight that I carry around on a regular basis. So that in and of itself is weight. Okay, so gaining weight and putting on muscle, it's not just muscle. There's more to it than that. So I've lost weight, I've lost body fat. I wouldn't recommend fasting for a cut. You just simply reduce calories, a significant time period before any kind of show or competition, which is a great way to lean out without putting your body into too much stress. So a fast can put your body into stress, but it also can be very liberating and detoxifying. So I'm leaner now than I was before the fast, but I've probably lost a little bit of muscle, but it's 3 days, so it's not much. I'm not really worried about it, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this, to just kind of see where I'm at. Anyway, I'll check back in a little bit later. I still have a full day to go. I'm going to go out shopping right now for a little bit of food, some squash and zucchini, and I'll catch you guys later. Hey friends, just preparing my post 72-hour fast meal. I'm going to be having some butternut squash, some of these little, what are they called, mixed baby squashes, and some zucchini. This is going to be in a soup. These are going to be boiled chunks, so I'm psyched. Well, that's it, my friends. 72 hours of water only. It's actually been 73 hours because my last meal was at 6 o'clock 3 nights ago, and it's now 7 p.m. So how do I feel? Well, I feel pretty clean, and I feel really sharp. Like nothing's inhibiting my vision, my hearing. Everything feels really clear and sharp. The hunger never fully went away. So that was a little bit tough to deal with because I, do have a family, and so I'm making food and preparing things, and there's scents in the kitchen. We went out to the movie theater last night, all the popcorn scents and all this. Oh, it was a little bit tough. But I've already been on a plant-based diet for 4 years, so I'm relatively clean anyway. So if I keep my diet clean, I'll really only notice positive effects from this if I do it again on a regular basis. Maybe I'll see something different in myself now, but I'm going to introduce food once again slowly. I have it right here, my butternut squash soup and my mini squash with zucchini chunks. And I actually, see that? I actually decided to toast or roast the butternut squash seeds. So it's like pumpkin seeds, so I just want to try those out. Those look really good. I was thinking of going longer on this fast, but I have to return to my daily family duties. I can't be out of commission for too long. So 72 hours was good for me. It was yet another life experience, which I'm really happy to have. And I definitely gained on internal levels. So perhaps I'll do daily intermittent fasting where I'll have about 16-hour window between my last meal and my first meal, just to kind of keep things going and give my digestion a break from time to time. So stay tuned to see how that goes. So I'm going to taste this food right now. I'm kind of excited. Here it goes. Oh my. That's sweet. It's really nice. It's like not having food for 72 hours and you have something like squash that's an unsweetened. I didn't put salt in here. The broth was low sodium and it's really delicious. Wow, it's great. Let me try some of these zucchinis. It feels really good to eat, and the flavors are really pronounced. So, on these little things. Man, those turned out really good. So I just took them out of the butternut squash and put them on a baking tray with some parchment paper and some salt and put them in there for 10 minutes. Really good. So if you're new to Guilt Free TV, hit that subscribe button and you'll be the first to know when new videos come out. Thanks for watching my 3-day, 72-hour fast journey, and I'll catch you in the next one.